Hey everyone, just popping on a few minutes early to get everything set up. I hope you can hear me okay. So I know there's a few people there already, so just say hi. And if you can hear me, just pop it into the chat box and let me know that everything's going good. Okay, so I'm just going to hang on for a couple of minutes while people log on. And I'll start sharing my screen. So let me know. I know there's a few people there already. So like I said, just say hi and just let me know what you're at. Or where you're at, I should say. And I'm just getting everything ready here. Okay. So hopefully you can see my screen now. Okay. Can you see my screen, guys? I'm just getting this set up, okay? So just give me a second. Okay, here we go. Just gonna wait a couple more minutes, okay? Okay, so I don't think my screen is sharing properly with you, so I'm just gonna go back to here. Hopefully that's okay. Okay, so look at everyone. Welcome to the masterclass. Thank you for joining me, especially on a beautiful evening. I think most people here are probably from Europe, and I know I met a lot of people there at the weekend. So thank you, like I said, for coming to listen to this presentation here tonight. So what we're going to be talking about is how to live a low-tox life with just 10 essential oils. And I'm Lorna McCormick, and I'm sorry my screen just isn't sharing properly. So that's why the slides look a little smaller. So I'm Lorna, and my mission is really to help you transform your life with natural plant-based medicines. I'm a plant-based nutritional therapist, a living food instructor, and a master herbalist as well. So before we get started, I do just want to say this information here is just for educational purposes only. Always consult with your medical doctor regarding starting or stopping any prescription medications. And this information is not a substitute for the professional care of your physician. So take this time for yourself. Silence your phone, close the door, get rid of any distractions, any other tabs or anything that's running in the background that might interfere with just the streaming of this class. And also just stay tuned until the end, because I'm going to tell you how you can get your hands on the very best essential oils and how you can get them into your home. I'm going to tell you how you can get freebies worth €35 and how you can get free access to my signature program, Low-Tox Living Made Simple. At the end, we are going to do a Q&A, and I did get a lot of questions in before now. So I'm going to cover all those at the end. And if you have anything as we're going along, just post your question in the chat box. There's a little chat box. If you're on a desktop, you'll see it over to the right. Or if you're on a mobile, just scroll down and you can just log in there and just post your questions as we're going along. And I will come back to all of those at the end. So look, at what we want to do is deal with some of the frustrations in your health. So if you need any help with stress, sleep, digestion, immunity, all of those types of daily nuisances, if you feel like you're just running around in circles trying to take care of your health and pretty much everybody else, if you want to find natural solutions, or if you worry about the things that you can't control, so you're concerned about health and you know there's a lot of things that we're exposed to that you feel is out of your control. So if that is if any of those things are you, then I think there's a pretty good chance you're going to find solutions to all of these things today. We have so much to cover. I'm going to be moving pretty fast. I want to be respectful of your time as well. So what we're going to talk about first is just household items that may be seriously damaging your health. What are essential oils and why is everybody talking about them? And also the 10 most powerful plant-based medicines for your home. We're going to talk about them in a bit of detail and all the different ways that you can use them for illness prevention, detoxification, skincare, green cleaning, and emotional support as well. So first of all, why go low tox? Well, let's look at personal care products first. And I'm only going to cover a few things here because we just not enough time here tonight. But in relation to personal care products, there's a lot of things put into these products that is having quite an effect on our health. One of them is called nanomaterials. These are particles that require no special labeling whatsoever. The particles penetrate our cell walls and can cause organ tissue and even result in cell death. Another thing that's in our personal care products, so when I say personal care products, I'm talking about our moisturizers, our skincare, our cosmetics. So anything that we're rubbing onto our skin, we're putting onto our skin. Phthalates is something that's also very common in these types of products, and that's spelled Phalates. Studies have shown that these types of chemicals can damage our liver, kidneys, lungs, and our reproductive system. Also, in 90% of personal care products is fragrance. Now, fragrance is like an umbrella term that can be any of 3,000 chemicals. These chemicals have been shown to be hormone disrupting, neurotoxins, and even linked to depression and irritability. So there's a lot going on with our skincare. We absorb a lot of what we rub onto our skin. It goes into our bloodstream. So we want to talk about ways that we can try to eliminate and reduce that load on our body. Second group of products are cleaning products. Now, cleaning products are things like air fresheners, toilet cleaners, anything that you buy in your home to get rid of grease and grime, and pretty much all those commercial kind of supermarket things. The Silent Spring Institute found concentrations of toxic chemicals in our home linked to disease can be 200 to 500 times higher than outside. So what we're saying is you come into your home, you think you're safe, and what this study has found is that the air and the conditions in which we're living in inside our homes are 200 to 500 times more toxic than the air outside. That's pretty scary because, like I said, we all want to feel safe in our homes, and that's not very promising. The third group of products are synthetic medications. It's really important that I make the point here that synthetic medications are life-saving, and I am far happier to be living in a world with them than without them. But the point I want to make here tonight is that a lot of these things are being overused and being misused. And what we want to do is give families, give homes a toolkit of natural things that you can use before you have to resort to something that has a list of side effects. Sometimes they are needed, and I absolutely know that. But what we want to do is just try to find ways to prevent day-to-day things like immune support and coughs and colds and all those kinds of nuisances, things that bother us on a daily basis. So that's what we're talking about here tonight. So why did I start using essential oils? This here's my family here, basically. And this is why, my 3 children. I've been using doTERRA for 2 years. And since I started, and without going into a whole load of detail, but I've I suppose, used oils to deal with so many things. Things like croup, coughs and colds, flus, infections, bacterial infections, fungus infections, all those kinds of things that just crop up on a daily basis. And I suppose since I've started using doTERRA, probably the most obvious thing that I've noticed and everybody around me has noticed is that my children don't miss any school. So since I've started using doTERRA, within a few months of implementing daily protocols, they don't miss any school, and they haven't missed any school in the last year and a half due to illness. The other thing that's pretty obvious is that we have not had a single visit due to illness, visit to a doctor's due to illness since then as well. And that's what that means for my family. And that means a lot to me. I've obviously always been interested in natural things, and I wanted to give them things that I suppose I wanted to support their health naturally, because as a parent, we're under a lot of stress and we need easy ways to help ourselves. So let's get stuck into all the exciting detail about essential oils. So what are essential oils and why is everybody talking about them? First of all, essential oils is what within nature, and this is the one thing to remember. Plants have been given essential oils as their defense mechanism. It's their immune system. Plants have to fight off threats like we do. We have hands, we have legs, we can run, we can fight. That is part of our defense mechanism. Plants are stationary. So plants have to fight off fungus, bacteria, parasites, viruses, physical threats to the body, physical threats and weather conditions, anything that threatens its survival, basically. That little picture there is just a close-up shot of a peppermint leaf, and the oil's been stored in a sack there, and they will release the oils when they need them. A couple of examples to show you how intelligent, I suppose, oils are and plants. This is a lima bean plant. And at certain times of the year, it will get attacked by a parasite. When it gets attacked by a parasite, it will release its oils. Those oils attract a breed of insect that will come to that plant, and that feeds on the insect or the parasites that's attacking it. That's one way that the plants will use oils. This here is an image of the Great Smoky Mountains in the Midwestern America. And this looks like like a mist or a fog. But what this is at the end of the summer, when the area is very hot and humid, the plants emit their essential oils, and it forms this haze over the woods, over the forest, that's going to lock in the moisture that's left. And that's its defense mechanism. That's how it protects itself, to keep the moisture in the forest bed. So just a couple of examples of how plants will use oils. There's 4 ways to use essential oils. The first is aromatically. Now, most people will think that aromatically may be like a placebo effect, because something smells like nice, it makes you feel nice. And that there's a lot of science that shows us now that is not just a placebo effect. Aromatic usage is what happens when you smell an essential oil. So maybe you've got a diffuser in your home. Maybe you're using the cupping method, which is basically putting a drop of essential oils onto the palm of your hand and just smelling them. When you smell an essential oil, it takes just 20 seconds to take effect. That oil will get directly into the limbic area of your brain. That is the part of your brain that stores your memories. It controls your moods, your emotions, and your stress responses. So that is ideal for mood issues, stress, anxiety, and breathing issues. This is just an image of what happens when we smell something. So like I said, it regulates your blood pressure, stress response, and it just takes 20 seconds to change the chemistry in that part of your brain. So very, very powerful, that sense of smell. Second way of using oils is topically. This is great for localized issues. So if you can put your finger on the problem, then you're going to put the oil onto that area. So if you have congestion in your chest, so if you have a sore muscle or a sore joint, if you have a headache, if you have head tension, an upset stomach, you're going to put the oil over the skin where the problem is. Now, this is where you need to use a carrier oil. And then you're going to use a carrier oil to slow down the particles of the essential oil, that they will stay in the tissues where you're rubbing the oil. It's going to slow it down. Otherwise, the oils will get into the bloodstream quite quickly and start to move through our body. And for the purpose of treating a localized issue, we don't want that to happen. We also need to address skin sensitivity. Some oils are quite hot in the skin, very hot in the skin actually. And then some oils are quite mild, but people have very sensitive skin. So when you're starting off with carrier oils, you always need to dilute, especially dilute just until you're familiar with your skin, until you're familiar with which are hot, which are not. And especially if you're applying oils onto children, you're going to dilute them heavily for children as well. Another great way of applying oils topically is on the soles of your feet. So most people would be familiar with reflexology. This is just a reflexology chart, but this is showing you that the parts of our foot is connected to every part of our body. So for something like ongoing immune support, just daily immune support, putting oils all over the soles of the feet, within 45 minutes, that essential oil is going to be in every single cell in your body. So really, really great way of using essential oils. One of the things I would do on a daily basis is put immune blends onto my feet and onto my children as well. And that's a part of our daily protocol. It's like brushing your teeth. It's core to our daily routine as well. Third way is a little more controversial, and this is internal usage, which means you're taking a drop of oil, maybe in water, maybe in a capsule, and you're drinking it down. So it's going through your digestive system. So reasons that you might do that will be if you had an all over, let's say an internal infection of some sort. So maybe a kidney infection, or if you had a cold or a flu, or if you were just looking for daily detoxification and just mild detoxification, then taking essential oils internally is going to be important. Now, usually it's just adults that will do that. And there are guidelines around how to do that safely, how many drops to take per day and things like that. All of that information is all easily accessed afterwards. So I can show you how to access that information later on. The fourth way is to really, again, further help reduce your toxic load. And this is by making your own skincare and household cleaning products. Really, really great way of using essential oils. It's a double whammy in terms of you can eliminate the toxins that you're bringing into your home, that you're putting onto your body, and replace that with something really, really powerful, so that you're using essential oils and you're getting all of the health benefits from them as well. So how do essential oils actually work on the body? And we're just going to get into just a small bit of detail here, but not too much. We really want to get stuck into the oils that are kind of the most important for a household. But just very quickly, these are just little essential oil molecules, and it's just a little image of cell receptors on the outsides of our cell. And on the outside of every single cell in our body, which we have trillions, there's these, I suppose, what look like little claws, which is those purple claws. They're called cell receptors. The essential oils will lock into those cell receptors, and it's like a key and a lock mechanism. It basically unlocks an action when that happens, and that action will depend on what that cell receptor is. It could be something like make more energy, release a hormone, detoxify the cell, all of these kinds of things, all these messages that our body is sending around from cell to cell. So that's one way that the oils work in our body physically. The second way is that the essential oils can get directly into our cells. So as opposed to maybe water-based medications, which cannot get into our cells, our cell membrane is fat-based, and so are essential oils. So they can get directly into our cells, where viruses live, where petrochemicals, where toxins, heavy metals, where those kinds of things can be stored, and therefore help break those down and help with elimination and daily detoxification. Third way that the oil works is by getting into the limbic part of our brain. And I talked about this already when I talked about what happens when you inhale an essential oil. So that's the third way that essential oils work to support our body. So why doTERRA? When we talk about doTERRA, there's two really important things that you need to know. First of all is the purity of essential oils. The essential market is not regulated. So when we talk about purity, doTERRA is 100% verified pure by a third party, and that third party published the test reports on that oil. Every bottle of doTERRA oil has a batch number on the bottom of it. You can log on to a website called source2.com. You can put in that batch number and you can access the report that was done on that. Each bottle of oil has been tested 3 times, and I'll show you the test reports in a couple of minutes. So 100% pure. doTERRA is the only essential oil company that is 100% transparent. That is the only company that is proven that their oils are pure. And this is why these oils are safe for internal usage. Now, a little caveat there, not all oils are safe for internal usage. For example, if an essential oil comes from the wood part of the plant, then we don't ingest wood, so we don't take those oils internally. So just make a little note of that one. So oils that come from other parts of the plants are safe for internal usage, but that is why. So please do not go take essential oils from anywhere else. You just do not know what you're taking, basically. Second thing, the purity is not enough. We are looking for a medicinal effect here. Our whole mission is to bring back essential oils as a really potent and natural, safe, effective way of supporting our family, supporting our own bodies. So in terms of the potency and the effectiveness of an oil, that all comes down to where the plant comes from and the quality of the plant. So doTERRA source all of their plants from the native regions of the world. So wherever that plant is native, and those plants are harvested right at the prime time. And I'll just show you very quickly. This is basically what their kind of map of where oils come from. So you can see their lemon comes from Italy. Frankincense comes from Somalia. So you can see here that doTERRA are getting their oils from all over the world. This is a representation of what is happening in the essential oil market. And the Aromatic Plant Research Institute, which is the non-profit organization that are testing essential oils, they have published that most of the essential oils on the market are totally synthetic, which means that there is no pure essential oil in that bottle at all. The second grade of essential oils that you'll come across is a food grade essential oil. So a food grade might be something that is put into like, peppermint chewing gum or that kind of thing, spearmint chewing gum, something to flavor food. The third grade is therapeutic. Therapeutic is the only label that has some regulation on it, okay? So in order to put the word therapeutic onto a bottle of oil, or the words 100% pure essential oil, the regulation is that it must have 1% of pure essential oil in that bottle. Now, the rest of the bottle can be anything. So even if it says 100% pure and therapeutic, that's the only requirement by law. So we don't know what's in the rest of the bottle. You really got to be careful trying to source your suppliers there. So that's the only regulation in the market. The one you see there, CPTG, that's Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. That is a grade that doTERRA created and trademarked themselves. Again, this is within an industry where the regulation is extremely poor. So they created this standard and they work to this standard. Every bottle of oil they produce must meet this standard. What this standard means is that every single oil is tested at 3 different stages. Tested on the farm after it's distilled, tested when it arrives in doTERRA, and then tested before the cap is sealed on it. Here's some of the tests that are done on it. There's a few more than that. And one that you'd be interested in is that one of the tests is to ensure that the essential oil is free from contaminants and pesticides the whole way through and that it has not gotten contaminated. Okay, so that's really important. Remember the word organic, because I seek out the organic label because I believe when I'm looking for something, it's probably the best I'm going to get. So when I picked up a bottle of doTERRA oil for the first time, I was wondering why it didn't say organic. What we say is beyond organic. Again, the organic label is not perfect. So because some of the testing includes ensuring that it's 100% free of pesticides and contaminants and that it has not gotten contaminated in any way, then this ensures that it is beyond organic. Okay, so there's our little map there. So what does all this mean? It basically means that you get a little bottle of something that works, that is effective, that helps you solve your problem, that helps you be proactive about your healthcare. So let's get stuck into the really exciting part, the 10 most powerful plant-based medicines for your home. First up, we have peppermint. Now, peppermint is definitely one of my favorite oils. I actually pretty much don't go anywhere without it. And that's because I have a history of asthma and kind of respiratory issues. So I kind of heavily rely on peppermint to help me when I'm talking a lot, when I have to speak loud, and just especially for seasonal support. At the turn in the seasons, I feel a little more vulnerable or when things are damp. So I really do use peppermint quite a lot. But it's probably most known for digestion. It's traditionally used as a digestive tonic. A lot of people will drink peppermint tea, for example, if they have an upset stomach. But 1 drop of doTERRA's peppermint oil, essential oil, is equivalent to drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea. So if you have an upset stomach, you don't need any more than 1 to 2 drops. That's how powerful that it is. So let's see. Another great use for peppermint is for headaches. So if I had a headache, and maybe a tension headache across my forehead or down kind of thumping on my temples, I'd rub 1 to 2 drops in the back of my neck and maybe the back of my shoulders if my shoulders were tight. And if, again, like I said, you can just dab it onto your temples across the forehead. So if I was at my desk for a long time and I was storing a bit of tension maybe in my neck and shoulders, I can rub that directly on and feel quite cooling. Other ways of using peppermint, it's very elevating for the mood and it's very oxygenating to the body. Some people might inhale it before exercise and use it to open up their breathing. Some people will use it to give them an energy boost, maybe in the afternoon, like 3 to 4 p.m. Somewhere you're having a sugar low and you kind of might reach for chocolate or coffee or something like that. You can do that cupping method with a drop of peppermint and it'll really kind of crush those cravings and give you a boost. So it'll bring some energy to your body. Peppermint's also very cooling. So if anyone has maybe sunburn, their skin's a little bit warm from the sun, you can just dilute it and rub it over that area and it will cool it down. For anyone with hot flushes, it's great for cooling the temperature for female hot flushes. And also for like mild fever. Now, again, I just want to point out with anything like this, you got to use your common sense. When I talk about fever, I'm kind of talking about those moments when you're sort of, maybe you're woken up in the middle of the night by a child and they feel hot, but it's not enough, like maybe, to warrant doing anything else, but there's something brewing. That's the moment where I say, okay, this is the time to step in with the oils and use it. So just maybe putting, again, diluted, always diluted, maybe on the back of the neck and even a little bit on the forehead once it's heavily diluted, and that will cool the body down, basically. So beauty about essential oils is that you can just use them, and this is what I love using them. At the first sign of trouble, I will use the essential oil straight away when symptoms are showing up in myself or my family, so that it doesn't really turn into anything that's bothersome, anything where they end up missing school or having time off their activities or something like that. Great usage, unblocking the sinuses, fantastic. Cupping method, smell it, quite intense when it's brought up to your nose like that. So great way of using it. Let's move on to lemon. And I have to say, I really am just briefly kind of telling you all the different uses for these oils. Move on to lemon. So lemon is doTERRA's #1 selling essential oil. We like to call it sunshine in a bottle. A lot of citrus oils, they're very uplifting for the mood. So literally just smelling it out of the bottle or doing the cupping method, diffusing it is really, really nice. Lemon is traditionally known for helping with the digestive system and liver system. So for gentle liver support and detoxification. So let's say, for example, for digestion, if somebody had acid reflux, sometimes peppermint can make their acid reflux worse. So in this case, we could actually try lemon. You can take it all 3 ways. So some people will put a drop of lemon in a glass of water and they'll take it internally. Some people will rub it over their liver for liver support or over their gallbladder area to help with digestion. Also, if you have hormonal issues like PMS or menopause, you also really want to support healthy liver function. So having a drop of lemon in your water every day, every morning and throughout the day is a great way to support liver function. Ways of using it in terms of cleaning, it's probably one of my favorite oils for cleaning. So for any kind of sticky residue, taking stickers off glass or gum and hair, or markers or crayon on pens and walls and those kinds of things, which unfortunately happens to me a lot, it takes that right off. Really, really good for that. It's also antibacterial. So I found that sometimes with a runny nose, I don't really know why this works, but when you just put a little bit on the sides of someone who has a runny nose, it'll actually just kind of stop it. And that's so it's really great for that. Now, one caution about lemon, it's a citrus oil, which makes, when you put it onto your skin, it makes your skin more sensitive to the sun. So you just want to make sure that if you're going out in the sun, if you've applied it onto any areas of your skin that will get exposed, you really need to be careful there. I mean, I would definitely recommend covering up, or at the very least having a lot of sunblock on that area, or even just stick with the soles of the feet. Much safer place to put the essential oils. So just be careful of that, because we can get exposed to the sun without, maybe when we're not prepared for it. And most citrus oils are like that as well, by the way. Okay, let's go on to lavender. So most people will know lavender essential oil. We call it the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. So lavender is very commonly used for calming, for anxiety, for worry, and just for, kind of just calming the mind down for sleep. It's great for getting to sleep if you have issues getting to sleep or staying asleep longer. And it can be taken in 3 ways. So internally, rub topically. So if you're using it for sleep, you could maybe rub it onto your big toe. Your big toe is the reflex point for your head, so that's a good place to put it. And also it can be diffused. Really good for anxiety, also really good for the skin. So anytime the skin is red and irritated, maybe eczema, psoriasis, rashes, allergic reactions, anything where the skin, I suppose, looks red or itchy, you can use lavender essential oil. Also fantastic for burns, so for sunburns, but also if you've burned yourself cooking or something like that, you can put lavender right on. And again, we always want to make sure we're diluting it, especially when we're first introducing essential oils to our body. Although lavender oil is a very gentle oil, I still recommend dilution, especially if you're using it with young children. Now, actually, I also want to point out, and this is a blend that I use quite a lot, particularly around springtime. The combination of lemon, lavender, and peppermint makes a natural antihistamine. So because all three of these can be taken together, you can do a drop of each in a glass. This is the way I like to take it anyway. I put a drop of each in a glass of water and drink it a few times throughout the day when I'm feeling the symptoms I mostly kind of experience kind of heavy breathlessness. A lot of people would experience the itchy eyes, the runny nose, that kind of thing, and the itchy nose. Another way of using it is to put those 3 oils into a capsule if you don't like the taste. So you can take it like you would take a little capsule. Or also you can take them, rubbing them on the bottom of the feet and diffusing them as well. And that's really going to help us support the respiratory system. And I personally find that it alleviates my symptoms within a couple of days, which otherwise would have gone on for potentially weeks and had gone on for weeks before I started using that each year. Now, let's go on to Melaleuca. And Melaleuca is tea tree oil. So I think most people will be familiar with tea tree oil as well. So it's effective against, for example, head lice. So I like to add this to a little spray bottle with water and spray it on the kids' hair before going to school every day. It's also really good for any sort of fungus, so nail fungus, toenail fungus, athlete's foot, cradle cap, or yeast infections. So you can actually use Melaleuca internally as well. You can use it all 3 ways. Some people take it internally for issues like candida, and that's a common yeast or fungus infection. It's also great for wound care, so putting it over any sort of skin issue. It helps with skin imperfections. So people will add it to the moisturizer if they're having breakouts in the skin. And it's also great for cold sores. So you might dab a drop. As soon as that tingle comes, that very first tingle, you might just put a drop of oil directly onto it. And that will prevent the cold sore from becoming like a full-blown sore that takes ages to heal. So it'll really just fast track the whole process. Now, Melaleuca is also antibacterial and highly antiviral. So any source of colds and flus, especially if it's viral, you can actually use your Melaleuca either internally, 1 or 2 drops every couple of hours, or rubbed in the bottom of the feet. And I also like to use it in combination with the next oil that we're going to talk about, which is oregano. Or oregano. I'm not sure what everyone calls it. I listen to so much European and American stuff. I hear both words. So oregano essential oil. If you haven't used it before, it is a very, very hot oil. So you do not want to put this directly onto your skin. You do not want to take this internally, like without it being in a capsule. It's pretty much like eating a really, really hot chili. So you definitely want to heavily dilute it. And even for an adult, you're going to go with a very heavy dilution, okay? So I like to pair oregano with Melaleuca for any source of colds and flus. And that's pretty much the only time I kind of use oregano. It's not really an everyday oil for us. It's quite a strong smell. So I pretty much just take it out when there's a problem. Really good for respiratory function as well. So any kind of getting rid of shifting really old gunk that's kind of stored up there. Now, for anyone who has warts, it's also great to use diluted right on the wart to help get rid of that. And also for skin tags already, I've heard really, really great success using this. So again, dilute it, rub it over the area where the skin tag is, which might generally be the neck or the upper body area. And within a few weeks, they should just come right off. So oregano is great and very strong essential oil. You can use it internally, but it must be taken within a capsule to avoid any discomfort in the mouth area, basically. Our next oil is frankincense. So this is the king of essential oils. And if you're ever in doubt as to what essential oil to use for a health issue you're struggling with, frankincense is a great oil to start with. Most heavy essential oil users will, and it is for me, it's my favorite essential oil. And a lot of people say that it's theirs too. So it's one that I like to use on a daily basis in my skincare routine. It's also really helpful for anything which involves inflammation. So if you have any sort of disease that's been diagnosed ending in itis, anything that ends in itis by definition means there's inflammation there. So you can take this internally for digestive issues that end in itis, for example, maybe gastritis, colitis. Even if you have food allergies or leaky gut, that's technically inflammation in the small intestine. I like to take it on a daily basis, putting 1 drop under my tongue. And I do that so that it gets into my bloodstream quicker. And the reason I do that is for brain function, so to support my brain function. Frankincense is heavily researched for focus, for supporting the mind, memory issues, brain fog, even concussion symptoms. Medical doctors are now recommending frankincense be used for concussion symptoms, which are very, very stubborn and very, very bothersome. You can use frankincense for the skin. So because it's very anti-inflammatory, it just calms the skin. Some people will use it then to enhance a clear complexion, or even if you have a lot of moles or age spots or any sort of blemish or scarring on the face, frankincense is amazing for that. So you can just add it to your moisturizer. For anyone that has inflammation in their skin, such as that might show up like as rosacea, eczema, psoriasis, great oil for that. So I really can't say enough about frankincense. Heavily researched plant-based medicine, basically. Amazing for arthritis. Again, that ends in itis. So in that instance, you might apply it directly onto the joint that's giving you the problem. Those 6 oils that I've talked about now, they're single plants, they're single oils. What I'm going to talk about now are blends. So these are oils that doTERRA have taken and they've blended them together for a specific health concern or for a specific system in the body. So the first one is called the Breed Blend. It's also called Air. So in some countries, I see it as Air. This is the respiratory blend, and it's exactly how it sounds. It helps you breathe. So this is going to help you open up the respiratory system. Note now, we actually don't use this oil internally. This is only for topical usage or aromatical usage. So this is fantastic for someone that has a cold and they're coughing a lot and their nose is all clogged up and they can't get to sleep. 2 or 3 drops in a diffuser in the bedroom at night is going to help make them feel more comfortable and rest. I also like to apply this like you would basically a Vicks vapor rub. So you can put it onto your hand, a drop or 2 with a little bit of carrier oil, depending on the age of the person you put it onto, and apply it to the upper chest. You can even go for the neck or for blocked sinuses, and even on the cheeks for sinuses. But again, heavily diluted because it's close to your eyes, and the vapors can be quite strong, but it's going to help release anything that's going on there. So this is a really good oil in the diffuser, and you can even apply to the bridge of the nose or to the bottom of someone's feet who might even be snoring. So yeah, it can often be a good one for snoring too. So fantastic oil to use during the cold and flu season for supporting the respiratory system, or even for the change in seasons where people are feeling that kind of allergic response, hay fever type thing. The next oil we have here, and I'm moving so fast through these, is Digest Zen. Or Zenigest in Europe as well. So this blend can be used all 3 ways. You can take a drop internally every day, especially if you have everyday digestive issues, I suppose. If you're someone who just has chronic, maybe acid reflux, bloating or digestion, constipation, you can put a drop or 2 in a glass of water. And again, with internal usage, it's usually just an adult that will do that. For a child, you can rub it topically onto the abdomen and also onto the soles of the feet as well. So this blend is really good for upset stomach or nausea. You can apply it over the stomach for gas, bloating, diarrhea, cramping, anything like that. You'd rub it over the lower abdomen, but those symptoms are kind of most felt. And I've had great feedback from people with digestive problems that end in itis as well. So again, such as colitis, where there can be severe cramping. And again, that it can help relieve that kind of thing. It works fantastically, and much like peppermint, actually, you can just smell it out of the bottle and it'll help with motion sickness or any kind of nausea. So if you have food allergies, this is going to help alleviate those symptoms. Of course, you want to get rid of the offending food at the same time, but it is nice to know that you have something on hand that's going to give you some relief if you come into contact with something you weren't expecting, which I'm sure does unfortunately happen. A lot of people that have allergies, it can be hard to manage. So the next blend we have is called On Guard, and this is the protective blend. We like to think of it as the immune boosting blend. And basically, I like to use it as a preventive. So everyone in my house gets this rubbed onto the soles of their feet most nights throughout the year. And like I said earlier, I leave a roller bottle. I make up a little roller bottle with 30 drops of On Guard, and I fill the rest up with carrier oil. And I leave it beside our toothbrushes, and it's part of our morning and nighttime routine. And I have it downstairs in our kitchen where the toothbrushes are for the morning time, going out to school, and the same thing upstairs with you brush your teeth at night. So I think one big tip, right, when you're trying to introduce something, any new habit, you got to tag it on to an existing habit. We've a lot going on in our lives, so it's important, just tag it on to an existing habit. So that's why I put the On Guard where our toothbrushes are, so it becomes part of that routine. It's just a little side note. So you can also rub it along the spine diluted, again depending on what age the child is. I love to put it in a diffuser, so if anyone in the house is sick, we don't want everyone else to get sick, or if somebody comes in that I know is sick, so we'll have a drop of On Guard in a diffuser and let it go for a few hours to clean the air. Fantastic blend for cleaning the air, especially in public areas. great for that. The splend can also be taken internally, and usually I wouldn't take it internally. I use it preventive topically and diffusing, and I only use it internally if I have something going on, if my immune system is challenged. So really good for sore throat. Also, it's been demonstrated as an antiviral drug. So in a test tube study, the splend actually stopped the influenza A virus from spreading. So this is a strong oil. Now, let's see. We've got one more left. Yeah. So this is number 10. So it's the last oil we're going to talk about, and this is Deep Blue. So Deep Blue is the soothing blend. It's a muscle and joint pain blend. And I like to think this as, I suppose, like a natural aspirin. So anywhere that you would use aspirin or Advil for pain, you could use Deep Blue. Now for this oil, for the purposes of pain and relief, you're going to use it topically. So diffusing Deep Blue, if you've got a pain, is not really going to help anything to do the pain. You really need to put it directly onto that area. Now you'll see that this bottle has a childproof cap on it as well, so this is not for ingesting. So use it for any kind of muscles or joint pain. You will put it directly over that muscle on that area. So sometimes maybe if you've done a bit of work in the garden and you haven't moved for a while, and later on that day you've got aches and pains, again, you can put it onto wherever, lower back pain, that kind of thing. Great for headaches or for migraines. So if peppermint's not cutting it for a headache, or particularly the migraine type of headache, then Deep Blue will work really well for that as well. For menstrual cramps or digestive cramping, this works really well. So apply directly onto the bottom of the abdomen or where you're feeling that cramping. For any tension, again, that might be stored up in muscles, that's going to be really good for that. It also comes in a cream called the Deep Blue Rub. So where people are experiencing really severe cream, they might layer the oil and the cream on top of each other, and it will penetrate at different levels. So good oil to have on hand. I've used it, I suppose, with my kids where we've had bruising and minor trampoline kind of aches and bangs and minor sprains, let's say, for example. Things that didn't warrant going to a doctor or going to the A&E, but just so you know, it's sort of a bit bothersome. So it's a great oil for doing that. So let's see. Okay, so we've talked about basically the top 10 oils for your home. The reason that I've picked those oils, they are the oils that I use most often. They are the oils that will cover 80% of a household's needs, the ones that I use consistently. So I've gone through that now. So what I'm going to tell you is how you can actually get your hands on these oils. So I'm pretty sure if you've got your workbook and you've probably been writing notes, you're obviously using these oils. So let's just move on. Okay. So when you're getting your oils, most people will start off with a kit. So this first kit is the Family Essentials and Beadlet kit, and it contains the 10 oils that we've talked about already. And these are the small bottles. These are 5 ml bottles, which contain about 100 drops per bottle. It's got frankincense, lavender, lemon, melaleuca, oregano, peppermint, breed, digesten, on guard, and Deep Blue. It also has 2 additional items in it, which is the On Guard beadlets and peppermint beadlets. These are just the oils stored in a little capsule that you can take them internally really conveniently without having to make up your own capsule, basically. With this kit, you also get your wholesale customer account with doTERRA, so you're not paying to open your account. This kit is $141.60. That includes your account and it includes your shipping, and that's the price to your door, basically. The next kit, and this one is our most popular kit, it's the Home Essentials. This includes the same oils, but it's the big bottles. It's 15 ml with the exception of Deep Blue. So 15 ml has about 300 drops of essential oil. So again, it has frankincense, lavender, lemon, melaleuca, oregano, peppermint, the respiratory blend, which is breathe or air, digesten blend, the On Guard, and the Deep Blue. This kit also comes with a diffuser, making it very, very good value. So again, you're getting your customer wholesale account for free. So you're not paying for that. You're getting your diffuser for free. So the main difference, this kit is €276. And the main difference between the first kit that I showed you and this kit, and why this one is so popular, is that for less than twice the price, you are getting 3 times the amount of oil, and you're getting the diffuser along with that. So that's why we call it the Home Essentials kit. It has everything that you need. If you are in the UK, it's £238.80. And if you're in the US, it's $275. And that, I'll just take a step back here again, because I don't think I mentioned the UK and the dollar price. So the first kit I talked about, the Family Essentials, which is the small bottles. If you're in the UK, it's $122.40. And if you're in the US, it's $150. Okay. So what else will you get with that? I mentioned earlier on, our mission is, it's not to sell a bottle of oil or to sell a kit. It really is to radicalize our healthcare system, and is to educate and support families, using these little bottles in their home, that they really feel the benefits of it. This is quite new to some people, and this is why the education and our support is really, really important. So what you get along with your account or with your order, I do have a fast action bonus here tonight. So for anyone that is thinking about ordering a kit, if you order your kit before the end of tonight, so today is Tuesday, the 14th of May, if you order the first kit, I'm going to send you a bottle of wild orange for free. So that's with the Family Essentials and Beadlet kit. If you order the Home Essentials kit, I'm going to send you the wild orange, and I'm going to send you the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate. Now, the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate is a product that's made from doTERRA's On Guard Immune Essential Oil. And what that is, basically, it's a concentrate. It's what I use to make all of my cleaning products. So I would use it to make my antibacterial sprays. I would use it to make my toilet cleaners, dishwasher tablets, toilet pods, for grime remover. It's an essential ingredient along with the oils, and it acts as a combiner. So it's a key ingredient if you're going to start making your kind of cleaning products, your own cleaning products. It's essential. It acts as a combiner. It combines the oils and the liquids. It combines the powders like baking soda and those things. So fantastic product for your home. And it's, of course, made from the On Guard oil. So it's highly antibacterial and antiviral. So that's a fast action bonus. And anyone that, like I said, anyone that's thinking of ordering, if you order before the end of today, then you're going to get those items, and they're going to come directly from me. So you get your kit directly from doTERRA, and you'll get your welcome gift, your fast action bonus, directly from me. Along with that, and this is what I talked about, the education. So I have a program called Low-Tox Living Made Simple, and it's a 6-week program, but you do get access for life. The 6-week program includes, the first module is just the basics of essential oils. I flew through all of that content here tonight, and I really don't intend for you to remember all of that. All of that information and much, much more is stored within this program. So you don't feel like you have to be, remembering everything. How do you dilute it, and how do you take it internally, and those kind of safety guidelines. So that's the first module, essential oil basics. Second module is using the top 10 oils. So the oils that we've talked about here tonight, I have got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ways of using those oils, and that's all contained within that module. We've also got a skincare module and how you can switch to low-tox skincare. We've got green cleaning made simple. So we've got a little bit of kind of education on some of the problems with the products that are in our home, but it's very much action oriented. I really want people to take action. So every video lesson is followed with a little cheat sheet or a recipe guide. So it's got a little recipe book, for example, on how to create all of your cleaning products. So we really want to take action. It's not about downloading scary information and then leaving you to yourself to figure out what to do. It's action oriented, and it's little things that you can do, literally one step at a time, and everything you do is going to make a difference. So the next module is around gut health, and particularly the link to our emotional well-being. So how we can support our gut and how we can support our emotional health. Then there's a module on stress and sleep as well, 2 big issues. Some other protocols, there's a lot of content in there, but there is a protocol for thyroid support and a protocol for immune support. So if anyone is getting oils with the intentions of maybe supporting themselves or supporting someone in their family, where you feel like they're just always coming down with something, where if there's something going around, you're going to catch it or they're going to catch it. So this is a protocol of what you can do to really build up the immune system, so that you can go from, maybe instead of getting sick and catching something like every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you can kind of lengthen the time between that, and you can reduce, within the first year, maybe reduce the length of time that you have that problem, and eventually go towards not getting sick at all, or very rarely getting sick. Second bonus that you get is access to our private Facebook group. In this group, there are thousands of members full of essential oil people, experts that are using the oils on a daily basis. We've got regular live kind of sessions, training sessions, and this is where you get answers to your questions really, really quickly. So you'll get people sharing what's worked for them and ideas to help you as well. Third thing you will get is a private wellness consult with me. This is tailored to your needs, and it's designed to make sure that you get the most out of your oils and that you can get some quick wins. So we make sure that you get started off on the right foot. So how do you actually get the oils? So I've showed you the kits and I've showed you the prices. Now I'm just going to show you how you can actually order. So there's a link here, and I'll type it into the chat just near the end. I've created a shortcut link to my doTERRA shop. And when you click on that link, it'll be in an email that I'm going to send at the end of this class. And I'll also type it into the chat box near the end as well. So this link, when you click on it, it'll bring you to my doTERRA shop. And what you want to do is just choose your language and then start off by choosing the region that you're in. So if you're within Europe and you're in a Euro country, you're going to start off by choosing Europe. And then a third box will appear where you choose your country. Now, if it's the United States, that region will just appear first. So you can just look down at the options and choose where you need to be. So you will see that third box. A little tip, if you have any problems and the third box isn't appearing, just go back up to language and just change the language to another version of English and see, does that make any difference? Sometimes that can be affected as well. Once you do that, you're going to ask you what type of an account that you want. 90% of people will choose a wholesale customer account. So it will default to that. So leave it on the wholesale customer account. The next step is to put in your personal information. So this is just going to be your address, your shipping address, your phone number, your contact details, all that kind of thing. As you scroll down that page, you will see this information here, which is your sponsor ID. Now this, the number that will automatically appear here is my name. And this is what, if this isn't already there, let me know, but it's automatically there. That's important because that's what connects you to me. And this is how you get access to the bonuses and to the training that I've talked about here tonight. So it's important that that's there. You can also then, you create your own your password, sorry, and then just check the box at the end for the terms and conditions. The next step then is just, and this is what the screen will look like. It's just to choose your kit. So along the top of the screen, you will see the different kit options. So you can pick your kit. There's a few different options, but like I said earlier, the most popular kits are the Family Essentials and Beadlets kit or the Home Essentials kit. The Family Essentials kit is the small bottles and it's €141. And then the Home Essentials kit is the big bottles with the diffuser. And that one is just under 286. So you choose your kit and you add it to your order. And then underneath that, you're going to click a button that says View Totals, and you will see your totals. Now, you will see tax VAT appearing as a separate line, but that's all included in the price that you see against the item. It's just breaking it out. Everything has that on it. It has VAT on it. It's just breaking it down that you see what that is, but it's not an additional cost. It's already included in the total cost. So the total cost that I gave you a few minutes ago includes your tax and it includes your shipping as well. So you will just see it broken down, but your total is always the same. Now I'm going to go to some questions. So we had a lot of questions that was put in before in the last couple of days. So some of them are quite specific. And if I feel like it's going to kind of maybe require, I think there's some emails that I may reply to later on with a little bit more detail. But if we look at, for example, we had a question about indoor pollution and somebody being concerned where they have to leave their windows closed all the time. So in that instance, and like this person said, so this is Audrey, you've got a lot of kind of things that are possibly risk in your home. So you cannot open your windows, you can't get fresh air in. So diffusing is absolutely the most essential thing there. Diffusing is what's going to help kill any pathogens in the air. But in terms of pollution, as in the products that you're using, diffusing is not going to get rid of those kinds of things. It is going to clear the air. It is going to stop the spread of bugs and viruses and stuff like that. But if you are using chemical products, cleaning products in your house, then they are going to be there. They are going to be in the air. They are going to be on surfaces. You're going to breathe them into your respiratory system. You're going to get them onto your skin. You really have to, step by step, try and eliminate all of those products so that you're not bringing those chemicals and that pollution inside your home in the first place. So I do hope that makes sense. Now, by the way, I'm just going to reset my screen here, just in case anyone has posted any questions in the meantime as well. Okay. So let's see. So that was the indoor pollution. So definitely diffuse oils, but you really want to get rid of those chemical cleaners that is polluting the air in your home in the first place. So we had a few questions about detoxification and liver support and liver detox. So lemon is going to be the oil that's quite gentle, that can be used on a daily basis to support your liver. And so taking it internally, a drop. I mean, over the course of the day, I would probably like to take a few drops in water. Your body won't metabolize any more than 1 to 2 drops at a time. So with essential oils, frequency, high frequency and low quantity is what you want. So just drinking a little bit throughout the day is a very effective way of using the oils. In terms also of supporting the gut flora, I would recommend considering a good quality probiotic as well. So we have a probiotic called PB Assist, and that is a double release mechanism. So that's the prebiotics get released early on in the system, and then the probiotics are released afterwards. The prebiotics are kind of like clearing the way for the probiotics. So that's quite an effective one there. In terms of, we had a couple of questions about weight loss. And I mean, with weight loss, in terms of using the essential oils for it, what you want to do is really support the body in detoxification. So your body's holding on to toxins, and this is leading to weight gain, I suppose. So using oils to support your cells for detoxification. So oils like lemon, oils like zendocrine, which is also a liver detoxification blend as well. That's potentially a little bit stronger than lemon. There is an oil called Smart and Sassy, which is the metabolic blend. And that blend is for supporting the metabolism, for managing sugar cravings, so that you can, if there's been a history of weight cycling, so dieting and losing weight and then putting on weight, that's quite risky. So if the metabolism has been damaged, then the Smart and Sassy blend will help restore that as well. So that's the Smart and Sassy. Peppermint is quite good for cravings as well, if you do experience cravings during the day. And if you're using coffee as a pick-me-up, which is ultimately putting strain on the system, you can use peppermint in place of that as well. So we had a couple of questions then from Christina. So for things like mucus and sinuses, so to release mucus from the chest, the breathe or the air blend is going to be very good there. Diffusing it or rubbing it topically in the area. If it's a little more problematic, the oregano blend is stronger again. So if there's a chronic issue there, so an ongoing problem, then using a bit of oregano topically, heavily diluted because it's very, very hot, putting it on the chest area, putting it on the feet and diffusing it as well is going to support the respiratory system and release mucus. Remember, your body is producing mucus as to deal with a threat. It produces mucus to enclose your vital organs, to protect it from something. So what you really want to do is kind of work on supporting the immune system to get rid of whatever that threat is. So using On Guard on a daily basis for that immune support. So even if there's no problem, I'm still saying to use the On Guard blend on a daily basis to build up the immune system so there's no threat in the body. For sinuses, peppermint is very intensive release for sinus. So using the cupping method, and putting a little drop into your hand. For a child, if it's a child that you're asking for, you can get little inhalers. And basically you can put the oil into that and then the child can smell it. So they get the relief, but their skin isn't coming in contact with the oil. And that's really the caution with children, is that they put their hand in the oil and put their hand in their eye or that kind of thing. So that's really, really good for kids. And I use it actually a lot as well. It's just very convenient. So it's just a little inhaler and you put the oil inside it and then you use it to inhale. So you put it up your nostrils. So really good. Skin isn't coming in contact with the oil. So that's important. Other questions in relation to anxiety, stress, high cortisol. Some oils that come to mind will be oils, definitely lavender, frankincense, and wild orange. So lavender is very good for calming the mind. Frankincense, and it's not just for sleep. It can be used during the day to calm the mind and to help the body move into a restful state. Frankincense is strongly associated with brain function, but that's calming the mind. If there's racing thoughts, if the mind is getting a bit carried away, focus and things like that. But for calming the mind, frankincense in history is mostly associated with meditation, prayer, churches, and that's why, because it's very well known for calming the mind. So really good for stress. In terms of high cortisol, wild orange, there is a lot of research around wild orange being able to reduce the cortisol levels in the bloodstream within 20 seconds of inhaling that oil. So wild orange, absolutely, in terms of stress. I personally love the combination of frankincense and wild orange. It has gotten me over stressful moments, and anything from just kind of day-to-day overwhelm to maybe situations that are causing me stress. And then I think the addition, if it's more of an ongoing feelings of anxiety rather than by a particular incident, then I think the addition of lavender there is really important. So lavender, frankincense, wild orange for stress, anxiety, reducing the stress hormones, the cortisol in the body. Really important for that. In terms of energy, we had a couple of questions about energy. I didn't talk about this product, but doTERRA have a product called Lifelong Vitality Kit. And I didn't talk about it there. But if someone says to me, energy is their number one problem, if someone says to me, pain is their number one problem, then I will always direct them to the Lifelong Vitality Kit first. It is doTERRA's number one selling product, and there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can actually take the full product and you can take it for 30 days. And if you don't feel any benefit, you can contact doTERRA and they'll give you a full refund. So a lot of people will try it because of that. And obviously it's the number one selling product and it is not getting returned because of that. So it's very, very effective. So for energy, it's a combination of oils and herbal food in a capsule. So it's giving you the food in terms of high quality food that your body doesn't see as being any different to eating your fruits and vegetables. And it's combined with the oils as well, which makes it very effective. So for energy, for pain, the Lifelong Vitality Kit. If it's specifically pain, the addition of the deep blue oil and frankincense for inflammation is going to be a nice addition to that. For some other questions, the thyroid, supporting the thyroid nodules. With the endocrine system, so thyroid is part of that. A major factor there is definitely toxicity and moving towards a low tox life. So what has been put into your body that might be affecting the thyroid function in the first place? So within the program Low-Tox Living Made Simple, I do have a protocol for supporting the thyroid. So it is a specific set of oils. And in addition to that, the whole program itself is designed to detoxify your body and also to reduce the toxic load that you're taking into your body on a daily basis. And it's through that process that you're going to support your endocrine system and your thyroid function and repair that and restore its health, basically. So that's kind of a general answer. But with a lot of those types of things, you can use specific oils to support the area, but you also want to reduce your toxicity and reduce your toxic load. So from the moment we're conceived, our toxic load, we inherit toxins from our parents and it's constantly been added to. So it's quite sinister in that we don't often, unless someone has respiratory issues, you don't often see the immediate effect of it, but very often it's the long-term effect of it. Okay, so let's see. We also had an email about worry. And if it's specific worry, then I would say frankincense and lavender, and again, wild orange for that. Really effective. So the same blend that I mentioned earlier on. These can be used individually. They can be used in combination. I would always encourage people to try them and try them in the 3 different ways and see what's most effective for you. Let me see. Again, in terms of emotional issues and the serotonin levels. So we had a specific question about serotonin and depression. Your serotonin is made in your digestive system. It's made in your gut. So in terms of supporting our emotional needs, your gut health is really important there. So your serotonin, your melatonin for sleep, those hormones, they come from your digestive area, from your gut, and they're transported to your brain. So again, you've kind of taken, I would recommend taking a 2-pronged approach there. Use oils to try to give you relief in the moment. And again, I would probably definitely direct people to start off with lavender, frankincense, wild orange. Another great oil to add to that will be an oil called copaiba, and that's spelled Copaiba. That's copaiba. But in addition to that, working on the health of your gut is going to be really, really important. So, I mean, if the person that asked that question is listening, part of the Low-Tox training has a module on taking care of your gut. And in addition to that, because this is a little more in depth, I think the wellness consult that you do as part of your kit and part of the package, we will get into a bit more detail on that, how you can use your oils to detoxify your body and to support your gut health as well, and what are the protocols and what are the steps you might want to take. So that's very much more of a long term, but there are things you can do in the short term to experience benefit and then work on gentle detoxification and supporting the gut overall. So let me see. I think we have worked through all of the questions. And if anyone else, let me have a look there. Okay, thank you very much. So I see someone has posted there saying, thanks, great info. I already have the kit, and so won't be purchasing right away. I'm really glad that you came on, and I really, really hope that you learned a lot about the oils. So you've ordered some accessories during the week, so that's fantastic. So hope the purpose of this as well was people listening that already have oils. I hope you've learned more about the oils that you have. There's a lot to learn, and every time we listen to something, we only take in a very, very small amount of it. So what I'm going to do now, I think we've covered all the questions, and I'm a little over the hour. I always try to keep it to an hour. So if anyone is thinking about getting the oils, I'm going to just post a little the link in here. So it's just a shortened link that I've made to try and make it a little bit easy. I'm just going to type it into the chat, and I will send an email in a few minutes, and it's going to have the details of the offer that I mentioned as well. So it's www.bit.ly, and then it's Lorna McCormick. So I've just posted that into the chat, and I'll send an email just when I'm finished as well with that detail on it. So I just want to say thank you very much for joining me tonight. Especially, I know we had a really, really beautiful evening here in Ireland. I'm not sure what part of the world you're in, but it was a beautiful here in Ireland. So I really appreciate you taking the time out to spend with me and to come here live. I really like that. So thank you very much. I am going to log off now, and I do want you to come back to me if you have any questions. If I haven't addressed your question, please drop me an email, drop me a message, and I will answer it as soon as I can. If you choose to go ahead and order and you have any difficulties, I will be online for a couple of hours, so definitely drop me an email. And thank you very much. Been lovely hanging out with you for the last hour. Good night. Bye.